Hi guys, Mike with Fights with Friends. As a lot of you probably already know, I'm a huge fan of former flyweight king Demetrious Johnson, 11 consecutive title defenses, and one of the best role models out there. The guy never really says anything controversial. He doesn't fabricate things to make storylines and to hype fights, and that's one of the things I like about him. And that's one of the things that people have said that keeps him sometimes from selling fights. I was just about to post my stream for today, schedule it for later, and I was on SureDog, and I happened to see this interview between Ariel Helwani and Demetrious Johnson. First of all, Demetrious Johnson couldn't be a nicer guy. Goes on Ariel Helwani on his birthday, on his 32nd birthday. Who does that? And the guy has some money. He can do whatever he wants on his birthday. No, I think I'll just go on the Ariel Helwani MMA show. I'll help that guy out. So, very, very cool. In spite of Henry Cejudo's victory being, of course, narrow, closely contested, split decision, I mean, there's the Cejudo camp and the Johnson camp. I've heard people make cases both ways for one fighter or the other winning this. I had a lengthy conversation recently with Jeremy Horn, and hopefully we can get him on the show to talk about that a little more. But this conversation on the Ariel Helwani show on his birthday started out immediately with Henry Cejudo and TJ Dillashaw super fight talk. Of course, UFC President Dana White hasn't confirmed there will be a super fight. Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo seem to be doing their best to promote it. They've appeared together on NBC's Extra and TMZ's Newsroom talking smack. So Ariel Helwani was brave enough, asked Mighty Mouse to weigh in on the potential fight. And this is what Demetrious Johnson had to say. Keep in mind, he's a nicer, more patient guy than I am. He said, I think it's good for them, Johnson said. If that's what they want to do, let them do it, you know. I think I read somewhere TJ said he was weight cutting. He hit 133. So if he wants to do it, have him do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. Let them do what they want to do, dog. That's them. I was surprised to hear TJ hitting 133 when he's cutting for 135. I had heard he's not a big bantamweight and that shouldn't be too big of a stretch to make 125. It's not somewhere I believe he would stay, however. Of course, Johnson's now sidelined indefinitely with a knee injury. He also had that issue with his foot. You might have seen pictures online of the foot. Demetrious Johnson went on to say, I'm not worried, and because I know I'm going to be successful where I'm at. Whether it's me not getting a fair shake at the end of the day, that's something my management is going to have to deal with, because I don't talk to the UFC brass, because I can't hold back my emotions, and I keep it real. I would be choking someone right now. I would be absolutely choking somebody right now in the UFC if I won the belt, defended it 11 times, lost it to a guy that I dominated the first time, gave him a rematch, controversial split decision. What does Demetrious Johnson say? Good for them. He says, I think it's good for them. Is Demetrious Johnson too nice? Well, I reached out to him today. I'm hoping to get him on the show. I'd like to talk about this a little more, but I would just like to promote this guy more. As I told him, I respect him for being a great family man, somebody our kids can look up to. Hey, we like to have fun as adults in the chat rooms and things like this, but the reality of things is the MMA crowd is getting older, not younger. With the ESPN Disney deal coming in, this may help us get some younger fans, but we need guys like DJ. We need guys with cool nicknames like Mighty Mouse. that look awesome, that speak well, that are nice. I can imagine this guy's got to be great around kids. He's got a family of his own, I believe. I know he's got a wife. Please, Demetrious Johnson, come on the show. Come on Fights of Friends. I've sent you a request. I'd love to have you and talk about this. I couldn't respect you more. Thank you for being somebody that my kids can look up to, that I can show them MMA fans, and they're not going to disappoint my kids like some of the people in the past, some of the MMA fighters in the past. I just can't put into words the amount of respect I have for this guy, and great on him to be so incredibly humble, because I couldn't do it. TJ Dillashaw and Corey Gambrat, of course, this all started out with TJ Dillashaw basically calling out Demetrious Johnson, because Demetrious Johnson was a great champion. He had a ton of title defenses, and that's a big super fight. TJ Dillashaw knew it. The UFC knew it. And after Cody Garbrandt was knocked out by TJ Dillashaw, Joe Rogan asked TJ Dillashaw, do you want the super fight with Demetrious Johnson? In the cage, says, absolutely. As long as he takes care of business tonight, that would be great. Split decision. Henry Cejudo actually looks a little surprised that he won the fight afterwards. What's the first thing he does? He calls out TJ Dillashaw in a super fight. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, he's in the heat of the moment. He just won a championship. He's got a million emotions going through his head. He just finished a strenuous training camp. I don't hold fighters to things that they say after fights generally. But since then, he has continued to push the narrative, getting TJ to go with him on NBC's Extra and TMZ's Newsroom, when TJ said eventually he probably wasn't interested in this fight. That's what he originally said. Now it seems that they are hyping it themselves. I feel bad for GJ. Sometimes I feel like he's almost too nice. Sometimes I feel like he needs to go out there on Twitter to everybody and say, hey, look at me. I beat everybody twice. I beat this guy. I beat the brakes off him the first time. Get me in there with him again, I'll do it again. But then he wouldn't be Demetrious Johnson that we know, love, and respect. And fortunately for him, I'm glad to see he's getting some sponsors, because these guys are going away from controversy. A lot of these sponsors are going away from bad controversy, and the UFC doesn't seem to understand that. I don't know what the deal is there, but Demetrious Johnson, he connects with the younger crowd. He plays Xbox with them. He goes into the room as himself. Who does that? Great guy. Demetrious Johnson, if you do happen to listen to this, or somebody listens to this close to you, please come on the show. The invitation is out there. I would love to have you. I want to know what you guys think down there in the comments. Please give me a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. But let me know what you think about this. What do you think about a Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw so-called super match? And does Demetrious Johnson receive an immediate rematch? Does he deserve an immediate rematch? I believe if anyone does, he absolutely does. But I want to know what you guys think down there in the comments. Let me know. I'll be streaming Bellator tonight. I'm going to get that scheduled right now. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses later.